Hello and welcome to the Crypto Jungle. My name is Baloo, and here on the channel I teach you how to trade alongside the whales. If you're tired of all the YouTubers telling you to buy literally everything, then you've come to the right place. I'm the most honest and realistic channel in all of crypto, so if that's something that you're interested in, why don't you hit the subscribe button? I do this every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So in today's video, I want to talk a little bit about what's going on with the altcoins, because Bitcoin is still neutral. We've been saying for a while here on the channel that, as a result of Bitcoin's lower low, we have to proceed with caution. In the meantime, alts have been pumping crazy. Ethereum is up quite a bit. Cardano had a breakout. We've had a lot of follow through inside of the altcoin space. So I want to talk a little bit about what happens when a lot of people make a lot of money in altcoins. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at the king of all cryptocurrency, and that is Bitcoin. Okay, so we're here taking a look at Bitcoin on the 12 hours. So for those who have been paying attention for a while, we're in a trading range. We're in a consolidation pattern. This range has been set by the original shakeout that was set back here. This was the original shakeout. Let's make that yellow. Set by the buyer's climax and the automatic reaction area. Come on, load. Automatic reaction. There you have it. So we've been consolidating inside of this range. Now we got a few up thrusts. We got an up thrust over here, and we got an up thrust down to a sign of weakness. So, it is really starting to look like a distribution schematic. And we saw a lot of scares going around when this shakeout occurred. A lot of people sharing the distribution schematic on Twitter, and a lot of YouTubers making videos about distribution, saying that this is a distribution. Now, I think that this is just a reaccumulation. This is a macro area where a lot of large players are willing to sell, and there's also a lot of people willing to buy. So if you take a look at the on-chain data, we're seeing that a lot of the exchanges, anytime there's a dip, there's large players buying that dip and they're removing that liquidity from the exchange. Because of that, I am still bullish. Yeah, it looks like a little bit of a rounded top as well. But, the trend is your friend until it ends. So I'm convinced that, this is basically our invalidation point, our short-term invalidation point. If we can get a lower low on that, now we really need to be cautious. And if we start breaking down below that level, it's going to shake the market up quite a bit. Your altcoin portfolio will be pretty much destroyed. Anything that you have right now will be gone if we go below that level. But if we're looking at the macro, this could be considered, no, that's not what I want. This could be considered kind of a higher low. The problem is it's a lower low here. So it's neutral. It's an indecision point. The other thing that's kind of bearish is this rising wedge. I'm not a pattern trader, but I like to look at what other people are looking at so I can determine where strength is. The thing about bearish patterns is if they break bullish, they break hella bullish, because you get all of the short orders liquidated. You get all the people sitting on the sidelines waiting for a dip jumping in. When you have this kind of bearish structure and we do break bull, it can be a pretty powerful move. So if we do break bull, I think it's going to be full on FOMO time. Now, what is going on with the altcoins though? So for those who aren't paying attention to Bitcoin dominance, we have been on an absolute tear in the altcoin space. A lot of people have made stupid amounts of money on ridiculous projects that hold no fundamentals whatsoever, and it's a whale playground out there. What happens when the fun is over in the altcoins for the whales? They pull their liquidity, they pull all of the money that they make, and they throw it into Bitcoin, typically. So let's go ahead and take a look at the Bitcoin dominance chart. Now, we have kind of landed on this area of support that I had drawn here for a while. Been sharing this in the private community. What's reverse head and shoulders with shoulder pads mean? I don't know. Doesn't mean anything to me. Any head and shoulders pattern is simply just a trend change, a higher low changing to a lower high, and yada, yada, yada. So we're kind of in this area right here. Now we do need to kind of break through it. If we break through it, I think we could come down to probably 40% Bitcoin dominance. But as it stands right now, we're kind of bouncing off of it. So you're going to want to pay attention because, you know, this is a huge rally. You know, as far as the altcoin run, when this chart is going down, altcoins are doing incredibly well. We have had a very uninterrupted run here. Stay yellow. We have a very uninterrupted run here, and we're going to need to have a bounce at some point. That liquidity that's been going into the altcoins is going to have to come out at some point and go back into Bitcoin. Now, this can happen in two different ways. It can happen with a Bitcoin pump, and it can happen with a Bitcoin dump. Okay, this chart will go and rally on higher levels. Go back to where you were. Okay, this can rally on higher levels either way, because Bitcoin is either looked at as a sanctuary asset, or it is an asset that participants don't want to miss a Bitcoin move on. So if it pumps, people are going to go to Bitcoin. If it dumps, people are going to go to Bitcoin. So realize that if you're new to the cryptocurrency space, there's a lot of manipulation, and your favorite altcoin that's made you a lot of money this rally may not continue to do so very much longer. You know, I can't call a top, I can't call a bottom. I can just observe when there's a possible trend change, and the alarm bells are kind of ringing. And I'm thinking that there is going to be a bounce at some point. When we look at a lot of these altcoins, we have had huge extensions. You know, if you're in my VIP group, we were calling out Ethereum down here at $2,000, and we were calling it again at 2,600, and then I stopped kind of calling it. You know, I stopped posting setups because we've been on a huge extension. We need to kind of reset and you know, cool off a little bit and take some moves to the downside and shake out the weak hands and remove all of the leverage if we're to continue to higher levels. So I'm kind of looking for Ethereum to conclude at some point, but you know, the trend is your friend. It can keep going well above your expectations, which we've seen, you know, a lot. It's above $4,000 now. So that can continue. But if we take a look at our alphanumerics indicator here, we are getting a trim signal. So it is telling you to take some profits off of the table at this level. I think that if we turn here, it would be logical to try and take a position back down in this area, somewhere around the $3,500 to $3,200 level for Ethereum. I think that would be kind of a conservative first target. If we start to break down from there, then we're really going to get some nice buying opportunities inside of Ethereum, but I'm not calling for that just yet. You got to take these things one level at a time. So the other thing that I'm quite bullish on is just the Ethereum Bitcoin pair. This is well ahead of schedule. So we were calling this one down here at about 30,000 satoshis. We were saying that you know, it's looking good for participating in Ethereum against the Bitcoin pair. And I thought that my initial target at around 0.05 BTC would be a nice target to achieve. Blew right past that, and we're heading off to the races, and we're kind of getting close to my secondary target, which I did not think was going to happen so quickly, up at around 0.08 BTC per Ethereum. So I think when we're looking at it in that way, there is a little bit of room to kind of continue to the upside when looking at Ethereum here. You know, I wouldn't be surprised for us to come up in this general area right here before getting retracement. The altcoins are a force to be reckoned with right now. So, you know, we can't just say something is too expensive for the sake of saying, you know, it's too expensive. You know, it's hard to sit on your hands right now. If you're new, you're wanting to participate, you're getting in a lot of very new positions. And I want to advise you that these things don't extend forever. And if you don't hold any cash or a liquid position that you're enabled to execute on a dip, it's going to be hard for you to really make money, because you end up getting convinced for entries at the point at which the market will turn on you. So just proceed with caution with any new positions. There is always new opportunities in this market. always. There's always dips. There's always opportunities inside of this market. So if we fail to get to this resistance and we do start to retrace from here, we could probably find support somewhere at around 0.06 BTC per Ethereum. But as it stands right now, we're, I'm not getting in the way of this. We're not going to short or do anything like this. Now, speaking of shorts, we're going to talk a little bit about SHIB, because everybody is on fire about SHIB. Everybody thinks that this thing is going to make you rich tomorrow. And I want to kind of explain derivatives and what kind of things that derivatives allow traders to do that you may not understand. Futures contracts basically allow you to hedge your positions. Now, a lot of the newer investors think that futures markets are simply to increase leverage to the long side. It's a very typical play where the new investor is doing a 10x or 20x or 50x to the long side on these things. But you need to understand what it is like to be a whale. And it's very important to understand that the whales hold most of the tokens. They can't sell. You can buy and sell. Doesn't matter. Anytime in the market, you can buy and you can sell. Always. Whales can't. If whales sell and they blow through all of the ask prices or the bid prices, it's done. The market crashes. You get a flash crash. It goes to zero. And what is the point of them doing that? If they hold all these coins that are very valuable, and if they just sell them all at once, it's gone. It goes to zero. They become insolvent. It becomes illiquid, and it trades to zero. Flash crash. So understand that with the release of the derivatives on SHIB, they're allowed to hedge out. They have more access to liquidity. So if they want to sell 5 to 10% of their position, which would be massive, I'm just using numbers here. Let's say they wanted to take 10% position out. Instead of just dumping 10% of the token supply onto the market, what they can do is they can sell 5% and they can buy short contracts against their position. And that basically turns into what's called a cover. So a cover is a way for you to neutralize a position, lock in profits, and still hold the underlying asset so that you don't care the direction. If this continues to go, the whales are going to want to still play with that. They're still going to want to be a participant in that. But if it turns to the downside, they're also going to want to have exposure to the downside as well. So how does a cover work? Basically, as soon as the derivatives were launched, they probably covered right at the launch. And here's what a cover looks like. Boom, you got a cover. And then you go and you put a stop loss on your short cover on top. So you have a market stop. And then you have your spot position also with a stop. Okay, this is how the whales play. It's a game. There's a lot of tools that we're allowed to use in this ecosystem. And if you don't understand what the big players are doing and the problems that they face, the whales don't just go, okay, number go up, just like everybody else. No, when you guys are getting frothy, they're looking for ways to hedge. They're looking for ways to exit. They're looking for ways to continue. And this is how they do it. So they would have a stop loss on the short side at the all-time high. So if we continue to pump, their shorts are stopped out. They no longer hold the short contracts. They hold the underlying at the long side. They flip long and they continue to the upside. Now, if we head down, their short cover actually makes them money on the downside, working against their main holding as a hedge. So there's a lot of shit you can do. The more you know, the more educated you are in this market on how all of these derivatives and these financial instruments work, the more sophisticated a trader you become, the more money you make. 100x Doge is not how you make money. It's just, that's how you lose money. It's just the facts. People made a lot of money in SHIB, so they're going to be covering. And as a result, I decided to go short on SHIB. If it goes up, it goes up. I get stopped out of my position. But currently, I am short and I am in profit on SHIB. So just understand how these whales play. So that's a cover. All right, so that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about is in terms of a market update. So it's at this point in the show where I kind of open it up to you guys and I can take a look at some of the assets and talk about some of the things that are going on in cryptocurrency, and we can go from there. But yeah, I'll just take a look at the chat. I will catch up with the chat. BTC is coiling up to something pretty big. Yeah, I agree. Bitcoin's in a squeeze, and you know, we're in a neutral environment on a squeeze. When we are squeezing and we're neutral, it's a coin flip. It can go either way. I think both will hurt altcoins. Now, am I doing much with my positions? Not really. I'm not really doing much with my positions to prepare for this. I hold a lot of Bitcoin. If you hold no Bitcoin in your portfolio, when your alts dump and Bitcoin pumps, you freak out. You gotta have Bitcoin. Bitcoin is separate. It's separate from the entire ecosystem. If you don't hold any Bitcoin, when it's pumping and your shit's dumping, you feel like you made a mistake. You have to have a healthy amount of Bitcoin in your portfolio so that you're happy when Bitcoin pumps, because it does. It rules the space, it moves the market, and you need to have exposure to it. So yeah, I agree with you. We're squeezing, but I would hate to see us kind of break down from here because it could get a little messy. Are you lightening up on your alts? I am not necessarily lightening up on my alts. I might start trimming. I might start taking profit. I'm going to be watching Ethereum. I might rotate. I don't know. I don't trade too much. I kind of hold these positions long. You know, most of my positions were bought lower end, like, you know, as we were leaving the bear market. That's kind of what the Wyckoff method teaches you, is you get into these things when nobody cares and you sell them when the hype is at peak capacity. So for the most part, you know, if Bitcoin just crashes down here and invalidates our trade at $42,000 and then bearish retests up to like 50K, I can exit knowing that I bought my Bitcoin, you know, $5,000, $8,000, $9,000, $10,000. So that's one of the advantages of getting in early and understanding that these markets are cyclical. When you think the market's dead, you know, it's human emotion. The emotion of the retail trader, the people who are here now, they're here to make money quickly. They're here to get rich quick. And unfortunately, they're the ones that usually get led to slaughter. But I try to do my best to help. I try to do my best to wake people up and realize that a lot of this stuff is a game. The stuff that people are buying right now is ridiculous. If you think that Dogecoin is going to be around long term, it's not going to be around in the same way that you think it's going to be. SHIB is a joke. SafeMoon is a joke. There's all of these projects that all they do is promise returns. That's a huge red flag. There are so many other projects that are offering products to evolutionize the financial system, to kind of bank the unbanked and create decentralized finance and kind of, you know, replace the old system that's ripe for innovation. And then there's fucking SafeMoon and stupid Donald Trump coin and all this shit. It's a money grab. It's a money grab. And what are they doing with that money that they grab? They put it in Bitcoin. SHIB and Doge tell me there's a ton of dumb money sloshing around here. Absolutely, 110%. Dumb money is here. Retail is here. You know, I've been telling my friends to buy Bitcoin for 5 fucking years and nothing. And now I got people sending me messages like, hey, what do you think of Dogecoin? Yeah, it leaves me speechless. But you know what? It is what it is, you know. We were all there. We all got excited at some point. We thought something was going to be good, and then it all, you know, the floor caved in on you, and you realized where the value is. You know, the bear market tells you where the valuable projects are because they start the whole bull market. The valuable projects start the bull market. What started the bull market? DeFi. DeFi started the bull market. Do you think it's a valuable sector to be involved in? I do. KMD. Okay. Ontology. Sure. Let's take a look at KMD. Let me go over to my Shiba cover. I hope that short works out. I really don't like shorting in a bull market, but it just seemed like a no-brainer to me that the whales would be covering, and the amount of supply that enters the market is going to be substantial. because they have to sell some to cover, you know. We'll see what happens. What am I looking for? KMD. Komodo. All right, let's go to the daily. Okay, so we're in a squeeze here. This is it's not a bad spot, actually. You know, it's just leaving its long-term accumulation. This is kind of the area that you want to be looking around, but we've got quite a spread. Got quite a spread on the volatility here. So, you know, from top to bottom, we're talking 62% retracement. We're range bound right now, and it looks like we're just entering a new trading range. Now, these are the plays that I love the most. This is the stuff that kind of, you know, let it develop, let it tell you what is next, let it tell you what's going to happen, you know, allow this trading range to develop. We're in phase A for this reaccumulation. We're just leaving the macro accumulation. If you think this thing's ready to moon, it's not. It's going to take time. It needs to kind of reconsolidate. You're going to get those final positions of the whales. Nobody's talking about it. I like that. We'll see what happens. But, you know, the value zone for this play is down here at around, you know, anywhere from 2. We can even go a little higher. Yeah, I'd say anywhere from $2.50 to $1.50 would be the value zone for Komodo. And it looks like it wants to head that way. And, you know, with the altcoins taking a move down, I wouldn't be surprised if we get a shakeout and it blows right past. If you're below this level of the trading range, would be a pretty aggressive buy that I think would work out. Okay, ontology. But yeah, long story short, it's in a slow spot right now. It's not about to blow up or anything. Ontology making some moves. So if you were in all out on ontology, I think we're actually below our entry currently, but you know, these things don't just go up right away. This is a slow play. It's a spot play. You know, stay away from leverage if you're new, especially with the more illiquid assets. I'm trying to, you know, we're getting to that point where you really don't need leverage, especially on these altcoins. I know that Binance Futures does offer futures on ontology. So, you know, if you are going to use leverage on something like this, I mean, just don't, honestly, because we saw what happened to Ren. Ren traded down to nearly zero. You know, you can get a flash crash when you have no more bids. If there's no bids, it just flash crashes. Once you burn through all the bids, it's done. Hold the spot tokens. But yeah, this could actually retrace. We could see it come back down, but I'm kind of bullish on this one overall. I think that it's kind of sitting at a nice spot. The only thing is most of the altcoins have extended quite a bit. So because the altcoins have extended overall, and I think there's going to be a rotation back into Bitcoin, I think that we'll probably come down to some lower levels, potentially even, you know, shakeouts hurt. Shakeouts hurt. So for those who took positions in ontology expecting the moon, you know, I did see a bullish setup and we were in a bullish environment. But if things do turn, we can see some lower levels. I wouldn't be surprised to hit something like $2, maybe even $1.75. But it should be bought up pretty quickly. We're in the stage where it's got a lot of demand. So I think this is a longer term hold, and you'll be fine. You just got to wait for the hype to enter, and what brings in the hype is people making money. Sounds like alts are just a lot more risky now. They've had a large extension. You know, there's an ebb and flow to everything. You know, things rally and they react. They rally and they react. That's just it. Take a look at SXP. It's a giant cup and handle, but can't break $5. Yeah, you got it. You nailed it right on the head. You know, it's huge cup and handle, can't break $5. When it does, I think it'll be pretty epic. But yeah, you know, I don't even know what I'm doing the analysis for, because you've got it. You already understand. You're like, this is what we're looking at. We got a huge cup and handle. We're just trying to break above. Oh yes, C Catanic. I got your message in the comments of one of my previous videos, so I will take a look at ramp, and thank you for making it to the stream, because you did say you usually are unable to make it to the stream, so we will take a look at ramp. Yeah, it's looking good. We're getting above the major resistance right here. You know, that final check mark is at around 510. You know, if the alts turn, I think we could move down, but you know, we can't just call a top. So I'm proceeding with caution, and I'm looking for better opportunities for entries, but it doesn't mean that the positions I have I'm going to cut out, because you know, we're still making money on those positions. The trend is your friend, and as far as the altcoins are concerned, we're rallying in the altcoins. So you know, I'm not moving shit around too much. But yeah, if we can start committing on SXP, this is prime for a pretty large move. If I move this channel up a little bit, nothing on this is financial advice. You know, these charts don't always play out as expected. TA is not a crystal ball. It is simply a tool for you to take a position. That's it. You know, if you ever go all in on something, you're doing it wrong. Yeah, it's sitting on top of the channel right now. If it doesn't hold, we could actually head back down to the bottom of the channel, you know, and that would be a good buying opportunity. So if you want to take an entry or a probe position, I think you could do so here. But you know, we could easily head back down. But the trend is an uptrend. We're making higher highs, we're making higher lows. It's an asset that is dealing with a large resistance that will likely break eventually. I think the fundamentals on SXP are not bad. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Yeah, if you guys are not already set up for VIP, go ahead and sign up below. We have an awesome community where we teach you the Wyckoff method. You know, it's a longer term strategy. It's kind of investing. So if you're a spot buyer, if you are a long-term holder, and you just want to know where the best times to enter the market and exit the market are, that is the Wyckoff method. You know, we're not drawing triangles. We're not doing MACD, all of that bull crap that gives you false signals all the time. Richard D. Wyckoff figured it out all the way back in the 1920s, and that is the method that we teach. We trade the cycles. So if you're interested in learning that method, I've got a whole video tutorial book that is a video course series that has been added to the server, as well as, you know, call outs like this. You know, we got the Ethereum call out down at 2K. That was the last one. I mean, we have them at much lower levels as well, but we gave you the call out at 2K. We gave it again at 2600. This is also where I closed my options because Bitcoin neutralized. But, you know, you got to just... my spot position's doing fantastic. So yeah, if you're interested, follow the links down below. We also have this custom indicator that you get for being a member. Sign up for FTX, which is a fantastic exchange, and sign up for Bybit, and you get a free month. So there's no risk. You know, you can join it for free. I'm probably the only group out there that offers free access for a month. You might get like a 7-day, but everybody's pretty protective of their groups. I'm convinced you'll like it, and give it a shot. We're gonna call the top. All right, so SXP, moving on. That's the pitch. I don't like to pitch too much. Hey Jack, how's it going? Take a look at Ocean. I've got it as a sort of a range bound with my buyer's climax on the 12th of February. A lot of time above the trading range before the most recent dip. Yeah, okay, let's take a look at Ocean. Ocean, man, it's just not so much hype. You know, a lot of people got into Ocean. Full disclosure, I still don't even know what Ocean does. I haven't given it the time of day, really. But what's going on with it? Why is it taking so long? Yeah, it's a messy chart, but I like it. You know, it's not our typical play for sure. You know, I try to avoid doing these upsloped ranges, but when I'm on the daily, this just fits so nicely. It just fits so nicely. I think this was our spring. You know, if we come down and test, so if the market turns and we come down and test this area again at around $1.20, I think we'll get the volume that we're looking for. We'll get that signal in the volume, and then we'll start to break out and head to higher levels. But yeah, it's, you know that I try to avoid these ascending channels. But what's nice about ascending channels is if you get in at the bottom, you know, the next time it touches is at a higher level. So there's a favorable trading environment to get involved with something that does touch the bottom of an ascending channel. This looks like a spring to me, man. This looks like a spring. It hasn't confirmed yet on volume, but it looks like a spring. Lots of demand, lots of people willing to step in on that one. Where are we on the macro with it? It looks like we're just leaving. So that's the thing. When that first reaccumulation as you're leaving the macro accumulation takes forever. It takes forever, and it's usually longer than most people are willing to wait because of the fact that everything is mooning around them. They're in this, they're in that. You know, SHIB's done a 300 fucking X, and like everything is blowing up around them. But you're in the right asset. You know, hold these different time parameters for your trades. Like get into the long-term holds, get into the midterm holds, and then have your degen account where you can, you know, get in and out of this stuff that's got some momentum behind it. You know, like I took a short in SHIB today. It may not work, but it just seemed like an opportunity that could work in the short term, so I took it. Have different time parameters for these things. Usually my spot holds that are off exchange are bought in the accumulation. You might have this one on the exchange. I wouldn't use futures. And then when you're getting into the higher parts, you might, if you nail an entry, introduce a low amount of leverage. And what do I mean when I say low amounts of leverage? 2x. 2x. You know, we're in freaking crypto, guys. If you're 10xing crypto, you're nuts. You have to be a pretty darn good trader. If you're 10xing crypto and you have 10 years of trading experience, go right ahead. But if you're 10x and above, you're freaking nuts. And anything that you get as a success for that is luck. Sorry, Schumer. Was TRB 10x? I don't even remember what you were at. I think you were at degen levels, but you pulled it off. So congratulations. It's just the volatility is so high right now. A 10x gives you 10% volatility tolerance. That's an easy way to liquidate a position. Any thoughts on DGB? Yeah, I think it's ticking away nicely. DGB? Pretty sure it's just slowly going up. Yeah, it looks like kind of breaking through a little bit. Yeah, this could take a move down if the market turns. Again, it's like we need to proceed with caution, but I don't know. Alts are extended. There's bearish case scenarios and there's bullish case scenarios. So the bearish case scenario for this is we come back down to $1. Bullish case is we find support at or sorry, not $1, 10 cents. The bearish case is we manage to stay above 12 cents. Yeah, I don't know. It's a pretty healthy trend. Just look for a dip to become a participant. Ramp. Yes, ramp. We're doing it. Thank you for leaving a comment to make this request on ramp. Okay, so ramp's pretty new. Ramp is pretty new. So when things are new, what does it mean? It means there's no trend. So if you're supposed to trade alongside the trend and there isn't one, then how? How do you trade alongside the trend? There isn't a trend. Long story short, let's go back to Binance. It looks like Binance had a little bit more information, but not much. So here's what we're looking at with ramp. I think the fundamentals are kind of interesting on ramp, but you know, we've got a high. You know, we had our okay, let me start over. We got our local high, we got a higher low, we got a higher high, we got a lower low, we have a lower high. So the trend is down. The trend is down currently, but I think ramp is an interesting project if I'm not mistaken. I think it's doing some pretty cool stuff. I don't remember what it is, but it's a part of the Solana ecosystem, and I love the Solana ecosystem. I think it's great, and whether or not they can actually pull a lot of this stuff off in time, we are heating up in the market. We don't know how long this market can continue, especially with the amount of degenerate buying happening. Binance is on fire. Binance holds all of the liquidity right now. What goes along with that is people getting hands-on with Binance Smart Chain. You know, the people coming in know the Binance ecosystem a lot. And that's going to limit the exposure to these other ecosystems that are, in my opinion, better. But, you know, it's not up to me to decide. You know, retail is in control right now. Retail is in control. Thoughts on Woo? We've been in Woo at 30 cents. Woo! It's trying to break out of this channel. You know, we took a position down there at 30 cents. It's knocking up against here. So it's up against resistance, and it's not able to close above resistance. So again, we have a bullish scenario and we have a bearish scenario. And it's all up to Bitcoin. I'm leaning a little bit more bearish. And that's simply because I think that that Bitcoin is going to make a move, up or down. Bitcoin's going to make a move. And if it makes a move up, people are going to bail their alts to try and jump and catch the Bitcoin pump. It happens every time. You know, the degree of the damage that it causes varies. But I think if Bitcoin starts pumping, we could expect something like that. So, you know, I want to see us come back down. Long story short, if you're looking for new entries, they have to come on dips. We're way too extended. All of the altcoins are too extended for new positions. If you're holding positions and your strategy is to take profits, then we're up against resistance on extensions. You're in take profit territory. If we turn on the indicator that we have, let's go down to the 4 hour. Well, we haven't gotten any trim signals yet, but you know, that doesn't mean much. So yeah, if you want to get set up with the alphanumerics indicator, we did get a buy signal here, which got you in at $1. So you're up on that one. And then we also got one. Oh, we didn't get one. Even when I took an entry, we didn't get one. So yeah, it looks good, man. It's a very steep ascending channel. It's a great environment to be in. You know, anytime you're at the bottom or the mean, just ride it. Ride it. You're in an uptrend. Just don't buy the resistance, and that's currently where we're at right now. So I would lean towards a pullback. I'm torn. BTC looks like it's going to do something big soon, and the alts will suffer. OTOH. I don't know. There's a ton of new dumb money coming in. It's a huge part of the market. I'm worried that this market is almost done with the amount of dumb money that's here. The amount of people buying these stupid, useless projects and making a killing is mind-boggling. You know, we're in bubble territory already. Now, how far we continue, I have no idea. But I'll know when the trend changes, and we're kind of at an inflection point right now. Bitcoin's got to make up its mind. If we start breaking down, we need to consider the possibility that, you know, the market could be done. You have to trade what's on the charts. I know it wouldn't look like any other cycle, but we have futures now. It isn't like other cycles. I'm still holding bullish, but you also have to listen to what's going on with the charts. And the amount of dumb investors in the space right now is enormous. Enormous. They're here. They're not coming. Good evening from Norway. Coming in a bit late. If you have time, take a look at Curve. Been watching Curve BTC for some weeks now, and I think we have some strong support with massive ranges above. Yeah, I think Curve's in a bit of a cup and handle as well. So these cup and handles, when they break, or actually on the Bitcoin pair, I don't know what it's doing, but when they break on the cup and handles, it's usually a pretty big move. Okay, so it's got a cup and handle as well. Pretty big. I'm going to keep this one pretty simple. You know, we're on an upsloping area of support. So, you know, simple is often best. Just if we get a retracement back down to this level, which we're not far from now, it's a good time to take a position. You know, anytime we can hold a trend, it's a good time to take a position. But if we kind of stretch it back out, yeah, you know, we've got a pretty defined trend here. If we can get back down to about 5,300 Satoshis, something like that, that would be a good move. And if we can break above this resistance right here, which we're really battling with, yeah, I could see, you know, it could start breaking out. So a couple things you can do. Start marking down some of these highs. So if we can get above this high, mark that off. That's check mark number 1 that we're looking bullish. Then you can start scaling into the position. Check mark number 2. And if we can get above here, we're off to the races. So, you know, as soon as you start breaking out some of these highs, you can start scaling in. You could take a probe position because you're sitting on support, but you want to get the confirmation. So you want to break above and pull back to support, or just buy on any pullback after you get a confirmation of bullish price action. FTT. Yeah, I'm also going to be patient if BTC decides to go on a run. Yeah, if Bitcoin goes on a run, it doesn't matter what Bitcoin does. With a Bitcoin move, the alts are going to suffer because there's so much money that's been made. And the whales don't give a shit about your altcoins. They don't. You know, they want more Bitcoin. They're going to make the Bitcoin, and when Bitcoin goes for a run, they're there for the Bitcoin. So they're going to sell their alts and they're going to go to Bitcoin. Anchor, haven't looked at that one in a while. What the hell does Anchor do again? Cardano. I'm still unsure about Cardano, actually. It's really struggling with the all-time high. Anchor also doesn't look clear. You know, it's yeah, I mean, you can just go straight down the middle with it and keep it pretty simple. As long as we're above, we're bullish, and if we're below, we're bearish. That's, yeah, you know, if we start breaking down here, you're going to want stops in place on this one. You definitely need to use a stop loss with any entry you're going to take inside of Anchor. It could easily come back down to 9 cents, 10 cents if it were to react. But if we hold this level, we could continue higher. It's kind of the same story with Cardano as well. FTT. I just increased my position on FTT. Kind of a weak setup, but I needed to increase my holding on my staking for FTT. I'm in love with FTX Exchange. If you guys aren't using FTX Exchange, you are a pleb. No, not actually. You're missing out. Guys, I'm promoting this exchange. I'm not going to tell you to buy shitty stuff. I'm not going to tell you to go do shitty things. Bybit is kind of a newer one, and the only reason I'm kind of toying with the Bybit promotions is just because of the fact that they do coin settled Bitcoin futures. Binance does that as well, but Binance is not as easy of a user interface as Bybit, and Bybit's liquidity has gotten a lot better. So, you know, if I'm going to pick two, I'm going to pick Bybit, and I'm going to pick FTX. FTX, it's so good as far as margin and everything. Okay, so yeah, we're heading up. This is a nice reaccumulation. If we break down, it's going to be ugly. Again, we have the market's neutral, so I'm looking at both sides. We have a bullish setup. It could keep going. I took a position at the break of this line at around $58. Actually, I should mark that down. Keep track of this shit. $58. I took a position. I'm up on that position. I think that we can go higher, but it was more so for the utility. I needed to get some more so that I could stake and get to the next tier. And yeah, I just wanted FTX. I think I have a lot of faith in FTX overall. So fundamentally speaking, these exchange tokens offer a lot of value. So it was more of a fundamental play with a little bit of a bullish setup. But if we break down, I wouldn't be surprised to see us down below $50. Honestly, we could head all the way back down to $50. Still remain bullish. Worst case scenario, even 45. But we're ticking in the right direction. We're ticking in the right direction. What does Alpha Numerics tell us to do? Are we trimming? So we are not trimming. We are holding nicely on the trend. The moving averages are in bullish alignment. We're getting a little extended from the green zone, but that's okay. The green zone is up at around $50, so that's our major support area. Stuff mixed stuffers. Speaking of Ren, can you have a look at Ren? I don't know. What do I think of bonfire? They're nice. Yeah, you know, a couple beers by the beach, hanging out. Love bonfires. Hydra? I don't know. No. No, I'm going to be a little bit more discerning at this point. Yeah, let's take a look at Ren. Why not? So Ren wraps Bitcoin. Why do you want to wrap Bitcoin? So that you can use Bitcoin in decentralized finance. So there is a pretty strong use case, which is a hell of a lot more than you can say about a lot of the shit that people are buying these days. But, you know, we're kind of... markets don't even make sense anymore. So buying stuff that makes sense is proving to be a bad strategy, which is why I took a position in Donald Pump coin, because it just seemed like a stupid freaking retail coin that that you know, idiots would buy. So I just wanted to get into the head of dumb money. And I hope that people in VIP realize what that was. You know, I said right off the bat, hey guys, this is a shit coin. I didn't put a lot of money in it. I hope nobody else put a lot of money in it. Know what we're dealing with here. It's a shit coin. It was just another safe moon. So I wanted to just approach it as, this is the dumb shit people are buying. Let's see what happens, because I've got enough of the good stuff. The good stuff isn't pumping. The bad stuff seems to be doing well. Yeah, you know, just keep it simple. Keep it simple on this one. It's in a consolidation. We're in a reaccumulation, and it's kind of trending to the downside. So local downtrend. If I put a support level on here, you know, the previous preliminary supply is kind of our support level on this. We could bounce around in here, but what you're going to do is you just right click on this, turn an alarm on it. Okay. You know, just crossing or greater than once per bar. Just tell me once a day if we're above this thing. It'll tell you when it crosses too. And that's it. Set it and forget it. Let TradingView tell you when to start paying attention. It'll tell you when the buy signal is. So just do that. Let Ren tell you when to buy it. Ava, nah. Can you pay in crypto? You can pay in crypto. But I am not going to deal with the administrative bullshit that goes along with monthly payments. If you want to pay in crypto, I realize I'm a crypto channel and I should have better crypto on-ramps to get you into the group. If you want to pay in crypto, you can, but you have to pay for the year. It's $300 a year. I'm just not dealing with the admin. I'm not dealing with the back end. So that's the deal. I wish we had a better crypto on-ramp. And they tell me, you know, the service I'm using tell me that it is coming, but it doesn't exist right now. So we would have to do peer-to-peer, and you got to pay for a year. But it's free for a month. Try it for a month before you pay me in crypto. Go to cryptojungle.com, thecryptojungle.com. Thoughts on ETH for midterm? Well, it's trending well. You know, I'm not getting in the way of that uptrend. It's going up. I'm going to be watching the Bitcoin pair and see how it reacts around the 0.08 BTC per Ethereum area. But yeah, you're not gonna getting a new position. You need to buy on pullbacks. You know, if you're thinking that you're missing out, you're only missing out on the extension. It's far better off to wait for the reaccumulation, even if it happens at higher levels, because your ability to handle downside and the emotion that goes along with that is very difficult. We're in crypto. Shit retraces a lot. If you're gonna take a big position, you're going to really sweat if you buy it at the wrong time. Okay, based on your previous experience of the current market, what are your loose expectations to happen to the alt prices when the switch happens to be BTC? You can never predict it. So, you know, 20 to 30%, just wondering, you can never predict it because it changes at different times in the market. If it is occurring in a bullish environment and it's a Bitcoin breakout, you might get less of an altcoin reaction. If it's in a bullish environment, or if it's in a bearish environment and it's a Bitcoin breakdown, you're going to get a huge altcoin reaction. It's different every time. So you got to go back to what your strategy is. Are you trading this market to get more Bitcoin? Because if so, you might want to take some of your altcoin profits and put it into Bitcoin. But don't take everything, because when you fully rotate, you're missing out on the move if the move continues. Trim profits, have a plan ahead of time, stick to that plan, and that's kind of the best way that you can go about it. I typically don't mess with stuff too much. I have a large Bitcoin position, and I'm happy to play with my altcoin positions, but I do long-term holds too. And depending on where you are as a tax resident, if you hold something for a year, you're in a different tax category for capital gains in a lot of countries. So having a plan on how you want to handle it from a tax point of view right off the bat will also help you as well. I don't think that it's a very good plan to make new entries right now with the plans to hold it for a year. I will say that. So any new entries at this point are coming with a significant amount of risk and shouldn't be long-term holds, especially if it's freaking dumb safe moon and bullshit coins. Unified token to the moon? Sure, why not? AVA, 4-hour distribution or accumulation. I'm going with AVA. Could be phase B, going sideways after the recent sign of weakness. What are your thoughts? All right, well, since you give me the whole breakdown, we can take a look. Are you in the group? Are you going to ask me again when we're in the virtual classroom? That is right, virtual classroom. So if you are liking this content and you want more of a hands-on approach, we do the virtual classroom immediately after the stream. So this is for VIP members. We do a Discord meeting where we talk about your charts, your strategies, how you are trading the market, and try and help you understand what it is that you're seeing so that you can make better trading decisions. I've been trading this market since late 2015. Learning to trade is the best skill that I've ever had. I'm not going to tell you that it comes easy. It does take time. It does take patience. It does take a lot of your education. Like, you have to spend a lot of time doing it. But when you get it, man, when you know how to trade, it's not easy, but it's just, it's, when you learn how to trade, it's a very valuable skill. I'll just say that. You're able to identify what's a valuable project and what isn't. Yeah, so I don't think we're necessarily in phase B. I think we're in phase A if we include this entire reaction. This was a big reaction. It looks like we're just about to print our secondary test. Wait for us to come back down in this area at around 370, something like that. We might get a higher low, something about $4. $4 is a kind of a big psychological number. So I think we're in phase A. We're in phase A, looking on the macro. I'm not even going to do the 4-hour. The 4-hour is just going to show me a distribution. Yeah, we were in an uptrend. We have the change of character right here into the shakeout, and we're consolidating. Fine, I'll look at the 4-hour. Yeah, the 4-hour doesn't look great. I want to see us hold this area right here, 370. Yeah, I got a few more minutes, so I get one more chart that I can take a look at. If it's not your chart, sorry. I'll figure out a better way to do this where it's a little bit more fair, but it is what it is. So you can stop posting the charts because it's probably not going to be. I'm not going to look at any of the ones that get posted right now. What are my thoughts on BTT coin long-term holding? I don't think you want to be taking any new positions in an altcoin for the long term at this point in the market, because I think you are buying above where the bear market low will be. If you're just getting here now, if you're just making your entries now, you're late. You're late to the party. I'm sorry to say. You need to approach this with a lot of apprehension, and you need to protect yourself. Long-term holding these altcoins that you think are amazing projects that are going to change the world. If you do it, you're going to learn lessons. Sometimes we earn, sometimes we learn. There's value in both, but there's no market data whatsoever that can tell you that that's a good idea. The data may change one day, but it hasn't. So you have to kind of trade with the trend. The trend is alts lose 95% of their value. That's the trend. So until that changes, trade with the trend. Ramp on Charty, ChartX. Why? Sending one message with emotes results in spamming emote warning. Oh, Nightbot, we gotta fix that. Yeah, we need to fix that. This is Twitch, man. Oh, if you want access to the free Discord, I had to remove all links from YouTube because we were getting spammers. So if you want access to the free side of the Discord, which just has free PDFs and a chat channel for you to look at this method, go to Twitch. Watch me on Twitch, and the bot will give you a link there, only on Twitch. What do I think about Bitcoin Cash? I mean, fundamentally, or from a charts point of view? On the chart, it's trending up. Fundamentally, it's a useless project that we don't need. Thoughts on Matic? I think layer 2s are going to get a lot of... layer 2s are really good. And, you know, we're kind of... Matic's at the upper end. You know, if you want to do short-term trades on Matic, feel free. But it's, you know, it's at the upper end. It's already in markup. It's in markup. Anchor looks to be getting into phase C. I don't remember what I did. What's up, Shroomer? I was calling you a degen earlier. I don't remember what you did on your TRB trade, but it was above 10x, I believe. Maybe it wasn't. I don't know. Thoughts on liquidity pools and LP tokens? I think if you're new, just skip it. Don't worry about it. You know, especially if you don't have it. Listen, if you want to provide liquidity to a pool and you want to get something worth getting back, we're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars for you to be happy with what comes back. You know, if you put a couple $100 into an LP, you know, pennies are going to come out. It's not worth it. Took me many hours to figure out Pancake Swap. Yeah. It's new, man. DeFi. Just read that FTX doesn't allow US customers. Are you Canadian? I am Canadian, yes. Thoughts on XLM? Yeah, you can go to ftx.us and you can get, you know, a reduced offering from them. Very new to crypto. Should I buy Luna? That is not a very... What you need to do is you need to educate yourself on blockchain. Tell me what Luna does. If you can't tell me what Luna does, then the answer is no. If you don't know what Luna actually does, if you know how to use a decentralized exchange and you can tell me the value and you can, you know, come up with a plan as to how to capitalize on the future value of Luna, then yeah, sure. But if you don't know any of that stuff, hit the books, brother. Hit the books. Is Litecoin a sell or a buy? All right, we'll finish it off with Litecoin. Not my favorite project. Litecoin's useless. It's a retail coin. Sorry if that offends you. That's just my own opinion, and my own opinion is just my opinion. It's trending in the right direction. I'll give it that. You know, we're in markup. We're breaking through the all-time high. This is bullish. It's a bullish chart. I just don't like Litecoin. That's all. So what you're looking for is a retest of the all-time high. So if we get a retracement, you have two targets. Basically, we could retrace down here at around $300. You know, if we don't get above here, I could see us easily coming down to $300. Or we're going to need to rally and test. This is not enough of a break for me to consider this bullish. You know, whenever you overtake a resistance, like if you rally up and you just barely make it over the top and you buy this retest, it fails every time. You need to really break out. You need to break out high volume, come back down and test. This is the good breakout. This looks like it wants to curl back over and retest the lower levels. So, you know, long story short for this entire stream is I don't like any entry on any altcoin whatsoever. Wait for a pullback. If you're finding it hard to sit on your hands right now, you are not alone. Most people are finding it hard to sit on their hands right now. But the problem is when you buy, you're not going to leave a cash position and you're not going to have liquidity to deploy into the market at the right times. So if you're new, please be patient. There's always more setups that is all the time I have for today. If you enjoyed this content, please leave it a like. Not so much for me, but if you want to actually be notified of when I go live, hit the subscribe button, hit bell notifications, and like it. Because if you don't like it, YouTube thinks, for whatever reason, that you don't like it. So it won't show it to you. But yeah, that's all the time I have for today. Please trade safe. It is a jungle out there. Peace.